encourage you to click on the like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are Voice of the People TV. Also follow us on all our social media platforms. We are at VOPTV Live. Visit our website www.vop.ng for fresh and trending news. Also watch us live on SLTV channel 264. VOPTV, Voice of the People Television.
Welcome to another exciting episode of the Issues on Voice of the People TV, where we bring you the most important and pressing issues shaping our nation today. I am your host, Jerry Apelioheim, and tonight we'll be diving deep into major developments in the Nigerian polity. Stick with us as we analyze these critical issues with our team of experts panel. And this is a conversation you won't want to miss. We begin the show today where Ipob accuses the United Kingdom government of hypocrisy for supporting Western Sahara's autonomy while opposing Biafra's self-determination, citing colonial bias and double standards. Away from that, where Professor Leonard Shilba petitions President Tinubu urging constitutional reforms to address the Benue security crisis, including creating state police and local security outfits. And still more, where former Army Chief Tukuru Buratai says economic hardship under President Tinubu's administration is radical, massive, and sudden, urging government action to address rising poverty. All right, after this short break, welcome back. Let's dive straight into today's discussion. The indigenous people of Biafra, Ipob, has accused the United Kingdom government of hypocrisy and colonial bias for supporting Morocco's autonomy plan for Western Sahara while ignoring Biafra's self-determination efforts. Ipob questioned why the UK deems Western Sahara's autonomy as viable while repressing Biafra's movement. Ipob traced the UK's hostility towards Biafra to the Nigerian Biafra war era, accusing the British government of complicity in mass civilian deaths. The group stated that Buhari's actions were driven by oil interest and a desire to preserve its colonial legacy. Ipob called on the UK to end its hypocritical double standards and recognize Biafra's right to self-determination. The group also urged the United Nations and African Union to investigate the UK's role in repressing the Biafran movement while promoting autonomy elsewhere. All right, today I'm delighted to be joined by two esteemed guests. Here in the studio we have Mr. Peter Nasike. Mr. Nasike is a philosopher, development economist, and best-selling author. He is also an erudite commentator on economy, finance, politics, and power. Great to have you join us.
Thank you for having me.
Always a pleasure. Of course, joining us virtually is Eda Lekia Christian. He is a public affairs analyst, social justice crusader, and president of the Niger Delta Coalition Against Violence. We understand that Eda Lekia is not here with us, but let's start out with Mr. Nasike, taking a look at this situation. Isn't the UK's endorsement of autonomy for Western Sahara while ignoring Biafra's claim a blatant case of geopolitical hypocrisy rooted in oil interests and colonial guilt?
Well, times differ.
Okay.
We cannot 60s and 20s are not or the same thing. Right now, there's more enlightenment, there's more exposure, But the policy and programs of every country in the world, apart from Africa, is governed by interest. Understand me? It is governed by interest, not humanitarian. Because after the first military coup, which killed Aguiyi, Gowon has wanted his people to move out of the country. That is, Gowon and the North wanted that to separate from Nigeria on their own. So then, what they were shouting was Araba, meaning secession. They were already on their own to leave Nigeria and stay on their own. It was the British government that told them, now you have power. Don't run. Stay and take authority. So it was the British government that gave the North, that's the courage that to stay in the country, because they were scared. Understand? Then, but Ojukwu on his own part, I can say, because he was a patriot. He has every reason to have won this war. Understand me? Because Russia was ready to come to the aid of Biafra. Understand? So all that Ojukwu would have done is just that to sign a 40-year, 50-year agreement with Russia. And Russia will fight on behalf of Biafra. But Ojukwu, I will use that was stubborn. Ojukwu was stubborn. Ojukwu said no to all the proposed, because their own interest was also oil, what they would gain. The same thing with Britain, what they would gain. Understand me? So Ojukwu refused, and they decided that to go that to war alone. Understand me? Now, Britain was able to run France and other Western powers for Nigeria. If just left between Nigerian soldiers and Biafran soldiers, there would have been no way Biafran soldiers would have defeated the Biafran army. So it was the British government that came to their aid with France and other Western powers. That was the only reason why Biafra was defeated. And it took them more than 3 years for them to do it. But if Ojukwu had signed an agreement with Russia, there would have been no way they would have defeated Biafra. Because Biafra was already refining crude oil on their own. They were already refining jet oil on their own. They were already building assault rifles and so on and so forth. Understand me? Biafra had their own radio, developed internally. So it was Ojukwu's patriotism, understand me, and again the sabotage of the help of the British government that made Biafra to be defeated. And still then, this war had not ended. Because in 1959, British government rigged our election, rigged our census in favor of the North. Until today, they are still supporting the northern part of the country. Reason, because they see the northern people as people that they can easily manipulate. British government see the northern part of the country as people that that they can easily manipulate, that they can easily take advantage of. They saw the people in the south as very wise and courageous and so on and so forth. So their direct rule worked in the north because they have a kind of a central system of government where they respected their MAS. Understand? But in the south, especially in the southeast, they don't have a strong traditional institutions. That's why they have to appoint warrant chiefs in the southeast or in eastern Nigeria. So it is easy to rule somebody who has no mind of his own. You give him mind. There's somebody who has a mind of his own. So easterners have mind of their own. It's not easy to control them. So that's why the North is favoring the British government is favoring the northern part of the country.
Well, with this recent call of Ipob, is it that they don't understand or have the information you have in terms of the rich history on how all of this have played out during the Civil War? Because if they are waiting for this same United Kingdom to recognize Biafra now, happen. Is it ever going to happen?
Because they are already struggling on their own.
Are you talking about Britain?
Britain is already struggling on their own, and that's why they moved out of EU. Understand me?
Brexit.
So in Europe, or the center is no more holding, and someone who is struggling cannot help another person. So for those calling on all these organizations to intervene, to investigate, those organizations don't have any power of enforcement. EU cannot enforce anything. UN can't enforce. ECOWAS can't enforce. These are voluntary organizations without any power of enforcement. So, if we really need Biafra, that if it's necessary, it's going to be self-help.
Without the help of the strong superpowers like the US, Russia, and co?
It's going to be self-help. Eritrea has been fighting Ethiopia for over 20 years now, fighting for independence. Check what is happening between northern and in Sudan. Understand? So it's not easy. So for the Ipob, I don't know how deep they are in their research and how exposed. Understand me? Because an instance, calling for somebody who will not help you, that to help you is a waste of time. Understand?
Are we saying those who are actually running the movements for Ipob are not deeply researched, or they do not carry out their findings before making statements or comments or carrying out activities?
I don't really know them. You
don't really need to know them, but with their action, with their comments, it shows they don't have this information that you have on how Britain played a major role in the fight between Biafra and the Nigerian forces.
So for me, I don't know how much they know, but Biafra was instrumental. I mean, Britain was instrumental to Biafra losing the Civil War. Apart from Britain, Gowon was already running away. Understand me? Gowon and his people were already, because Gowon was scared. So it's Britain that gave them the courage. Now that you have power, use it. Don't run. Don't separate from Nigeria. Because then Ahmadu Bello was dead. Tafawa and Benue was dead. That's all their key figures were dead. Therefore, that the only thing that they can do is to leave the country. Understand me? So,
okay.
Go on.
If self-determination is a universal right under international law, why is it selectively applied only when it suits the strategic interests of Western powers like the UK?
That's why or the word is about interest. Even human being is about interest. What will you gain from this? Understand me? What will you benefit from it? That's what is happening that's everywhere in the world.
Why has the struggle in terms of those who are struggling for self-determination like Biafra, for Biafra and the likes of Ipob and co, are not looking for Western interests who will support them in carrying out their self-determination? Because most countries who have succeeded always somehow find a way to have backing from superpowers. Why have they not succeeded in getting such kind of support?
Now, for me, I don't know whether these people now that we are hearing their names really know what they are doing. That's to start with. I don't know if they really know what they are doing and how to go about it. This is not useful exuberance.
This is serious talk.
It is not content creation or skit making. This is serious business, and it should be for serious-minded people.
Okay.
Understand me? It should be for serious-minded people. During the Biafran Nigeria war, on the part of Biafra, they have scientists that's in various fields, doctors, professors, understand me, coming together to reason together to manufacture weapons. Understand me? What happened in Aburi? Gowon went to Aburi alone. Ojukwu went with a team, a strong team. So before presentations are made, Ojukwu consulted and they presented a powerful argument. Gowon has nobody that to consult to. He was signing everything because he didn't even know what was going on in Aburi.
Talking about the Aburi Accord.
During the Aburi Accord, Gowon was signing. He went to Aburi alone. Ojukwu went with a team from different fields. Understand me? So when Gowon returned, understand me, and now show the people who know the agreement that he signed at Aburi, they told him, look, you have sold Nigeria to Ojukwu. Understand me? You have sold Nigeria to Ojukwu with this agreement that you signed. Gowon now begin to renege on the agreement. Ojukwu was saying, on Aburi we stand. That agreement that you have signed is what we will stand on. Understand? So I don't know how serious, understand, these people that are fighting for Biafra now, that's the much they know, understand, the connections that they have, and so on and so forth. When Sasarawuwa was fighting, formed his Mossab, understand, that's a movement for the survival of Ogoni people, understand, because of the oil in their area. He was an activist, and mind you, he was already popular in the 80s because he was he pioneered one of the most successful soap opera in the country, Bassi and Company. So that brought him out. And as when he began his activism, people already know him. Understand, from his TV programs. That was why he was able to attract international attention. Understand me? But when you just wake up from somewhere, say you are fighting for Biafra, people are hearing you for the first time, they have to watch you for some time to know whether you are serious or not.
Is that why the elites in the society are not really coming out to ask for self-determination? Looking at the characters who have been behind the struggle, right from the days of the Masob, for instance, of recent, and down to Ipob, and of course Nnamdi Kanu, and taking a look at the man in Finland as well, Simon Ekpa. Is it because of the characters involved, the Igbo elites have not really put out their hats in the ring and said, we want self-determination?
One, it could be selfishness, number one.
On the part of the elite?
On the part of the elite. And then number two, the characters involved.
Okay.
Selfishness on the part of the elite. An instance, when I talk, I mention names because I have been around.
Okay.
Somebody like Chisco, that's Chidi Anyebu, the owner of a Chisco company, gave an order in his office that any day anybody mention Biafra, any of his workers mention Biafra, he will sack him. He said, if we get Biafra now, where will he be parking his vehicles? That there will be no space for him to park his vehicles. That even from Onitsha to Nnewi will not be enough for him to park his vehicles. So, which means his business interest is far more important to him than any other thing. Understand me? Then that's I mentioned one person. Then most Igbo enders has their business outside the Igbo land. Understand me? Most of them have their business, their mansion. What Igbos do, which is a foolishness on their own part, was they will build mansions in Lagos and Abuja and will build bus quarters in their villages. The idea is, how many times do they spend in their village? Therefore, building mansions will not make any sense. So their businesses are outside Igbo land. Their houses are outside the Igbo land. They visit. They go to Igbo land either during Christmas or when they die. Their dead body will be taken to Igbo land and buried. So that's why they are not comfortable with this agitation. Then the other thing, and now maybe you are a governor in Imo State, in Abia State, in Anambra State, in Enugu State. Now, if Biafra is achieved, what will be your gain? You have to stop being the governor that you are. Understand me? So they have to protect it. Understand me? And that's by standing against Biafra. Understand me? So this is the interest I'm trying that to portray now. The other one, the characters involved. Those people that are fighting for Biafra, who are they? Understand me? Who are they? What have they done in the past before saying, I'm now fighting for Biafra? What do they know? Understand me? Because if I'm to join in the crusade in the agitation, I have to first of all look at those in this agitation.
Who are championing it.
I know whether I should I should do it with them or not.
So you could say that the capacity of Ojukwu as the governor of the Eastern region helped in making sure that the movement had the voice and the followership it had at the time.
Ojukwu was the military governor of Eastern Nigeria.
Eastern Nigeria, yeah.
Understand me? He was the military governor of Eastern Nigeria. His father is one of the richest men in Nigeria at that point in time. Have you seen history?
Yes.
So Ojukwu is not only known, his own father is also known. When Queen Elizabeth visited Nigeria, it was Emeka Ojukwu's father's Rolls Royce that Queen Elizabeth traveled in. Understand me? Yeah. So Ojukwu is already known. His father is also known. So that's why I say the guys leading this struggle, who are they? This will determine whether it's what you will show interest or not.
So we no longer have the Ojukwus.
We don't have the Ojukwus. It's just like some boys who are single, coming up and say, let us kill all children, let us kill all children. I'm a father. I have children. Can I join in that fight?
Struggle?
And understand me? So, for you to need a struggle, you have to ask yourself, what do these people have to lose? Do they have anything to lose in this struggle?
Is that why the superpowers are not even taking the struggle seriously?
No, you must first of all show help before others will begin that come to your aid.
Very interesting way to look at it, and of course, I know a lot of those who have been looking at the struggle will take one or two lessons from Mr. Anosike here, because definitely, I must say, he's really rich in the history of the Biafra struggle. But let's go back to the next conversation where Professor Leonard Shilba has petitioned President Bola Tinubu, urging him to address the security crisis in Benue State through constitutional reforms. Shilba advocates for the creation of state police and the legal institutionalization, of local security outfits to tackle insecurity. He argues that the current security challenges in Benue do not warrant a state of emergency as the state government remains operational. Shigba criticizes the politicization of insecurity, suggesting that some elites are using the crisis for political gain. Instead of emergency declaration, Shigba calls for a dual policing system, empowering states to establish their own police forces while retaining federal police for national threats and interstate crimes. He also recommends establishing state security trust funds and formalizing local vigilante groups. In the case of Benue, this has been on since we can all remember, talking about the issues of insecurity in Benue State. For regions like the Southwest, they introduced Amotekun at a point in time when they started dealing with issues. And the governors rallied round, created the security force to tackle their problems. What is different with Benue? Why is their governors successfully not sitting up with, at least let them have a Midwest Nigeria force to help them tackle these issues, and of course allow the government create a law to at least protect their people? But it looks like the elites are only interested in politics and failing to protect their own people.
Well, for me, that's what we say, that somebody is speaking from both sides of the mouth.
You are talking about Shigba?
Yes, he is speaking from both sides of the mouth. Why did he say that the situation has not warranted the state of emergency?
Okay, that's big question.
Understand? Why did he say that? Because he wants to protect the governor of the state. Understand me? Why did Obasanjo declare the state of emergency? The problem with Nigerians is that they don't know history. Obasanjo declared state of emergency in 2004 in Plateau State. Understand? Because of what is happening in Benue as we speak.
Similar.
Understand me?
Very similar, even dangerous.
So, when lives and properties are being lost on a daily basis, the only way to go is state of emergency. But in every state of emergency, the governor must not go. Understand me? The governor must not go. But what is happening in Benue? What is happening in this in
Benue?
That too.
Little. Yeah.
Benue, Borno has required state of emergency, which means throwing on your military outfit there. Because what is happening now has gone beyond the police action. State of emergency means that the state can no longer cope. Military has to come in. And what is happening in Benue now is not what a police can do. It is the military that can do it. And for military to move in, there should be state of emergency. Understand me? So him saying that it doesn't require state of emergency, there's a breakdown of law and order in Benue. People are dying on a daily basis. And the number one responsibility of any government is protection of life and property. Because that's what a police can do, that's what a military can do. Understand? Police are not trained to kill. Police are trained to shoot from the waist downwards. Understand me? Police are trained to demobilize you and then take you to court. Understand me? And they are shooting you from the waist downwards. But the military are trained to shoot at the head, that to kill. So that is the difference between the mentality of a policeman and the mentality of a soldier. What is happening in Benue now requires the mentality of soldiers, not policemen. And for soldiers to be drafting, have to be under emergency. Because their responsibility is to defend the external territory of the country. But when the police is overwhelmed, they will be drafted in. And now, police has no answer to what is happening in Benue State. Therefore, it is the army that are supposed to come in. And for them that to come in, there should be state of emergency. But state of emergency does not mean that the governor should leave his office. But on the issue of state and police, I agree with him. Nigerians need a state of emergency. I mean,
state police.
State police.
Okay.
Nigeria need a state police because the recruitment should be done from the states, and those that are to be recruited are people who are known, who knows the topography of the state. They know the nooks and crannies of the state. It is difficult for somebody from Zamfara to come and patrol the Anambra or Osun State. One, you don't speak the same language. You don't know the terrain. But somebody from Osun can know everywhere. So it's best suited to protect his own area. So I'm in support of state police. But the Amoteku that you are talking about, Amoteku cannot confront the Fulanis. Understand me?
Oh, we see some level of...
what weapons are they using?
We all know that it's not...
That's the question.
Yeah, what weapons are they using?
What weapon is Amoteku?
Oh, security-wise, we've seen some level of stability in the southwest since Amoteku was formed. But now, in Benue State, for instance, they are exposed. There's no form of resistance from these so-called non-state actors, and they've been causing untold mayhem.
If you Google it, you see Samuel Autumn, as a governor, established a vigilante when he was the governor of the state.
And what did they achieve?
He,
at least to some extent, were they able to quell the issues? Or maybe
what weapons do they have? Understand me? A Fulani man, one Fulani man with AK-47 can face 100 Benue people with cutlass. Understand me? So we cannot achieve peace in the country unless this Fulani herdsmen are disarmed. That's the beginning of all these things. Anybody who is not entitled to use a firearm must not use it. This is the beginning of seriousness on the part of the presidency. If they want to...
Would the president be able to carry out such an order? Give such an order that all the herdsmen in the forest, please disarm yourself and let's now start from there. Can the president make such a declaration looking at the region he's from?
They say he's a courageous president. He takes bold steps. Understand me? That if he's courageous, this is what will reduce if the Fulani herdsmen are disarmed today, insecurity in the country will reduce by 50%. And I want anybody to prove me wrong. If the Fulani herdsmen are disarmed today, insecurity will reduce by 50%.
Do you think
hunger will reduce by 50%?
Do you think there can be any successful disarmament of this herdsmen, bandits, or whatever the case may be?
Let him just announce it. If it is announced, we now know that anybody that is seen with AK-47, he's not a soldier, he's not a policeman, understand me, is committing a crime.
Well, let's not forget, the Buhari administration made such a pronouncement at a
time. He never did that.
When he said, shoot at sight anybody seen with a weapon.
Buhari government encouraged herdsmen.
But there was a time when he made the statement that shoot at sight anybody you see with a weapon carrying AK-47 anywhere in the country that is not legally approved. And we all remember there was some disarmament that was also done, where a lot of vigilantes and so on.
That was bandits.
Bandits.
That was bandits. Let Tinubu declare that anywhere a herdsman is seen with AK-47 should be arrested. Understand me? It's not that subsidy is gone. Let him say anywhere a Fulani herdsman is seen with a gun should be arrested. Then I will call him a courageous president.
Well, we know that the National Assembly has been making moves towards state police. But with these recent calls and so on and so forth, do you think the state police will be achieved? Or could there be an underlying factors why insecurity is on the rise for the state police call to have more points? Or are there non-state actors or politicians who are actively fueling the embers of insecurity?
State police will not be Uhuru, understand me? But it has more advantages than disadvantages, understand me? One, the governors of the states can take advantage of the state police. Okay. But it has more advantages than disadvantages. That's an instance. If you are in the opposition in a state, the governor can use the state police against you. That's what a lot of these people are afraid of. But most important thing in a community is protection of life and property, which I know that they will do well because they are policing their area. An instance, there's a sentiment in everything that we do in the world, not just in Nigeria, everywhere. An instance, the way soldiers go on a reprisal in the southeast, they don't do that in the north. I want to repeat it. The way and manner that Nigerian soldiers go on a reprisal in the southeast, they don't do that in the north. The way and manner Nigerian soldiers harass, intimidate extort people in the southeast. They don't do that in the north. Reason, because in the north they are their own people. Understand me? So if you have a state police and you want to be Jezebel on your own people, understand me, that you cannot be as harsh as when you are dealing with people from the other parts of the country. So that's why I'm fully in support of state police. But the biggest way of reducing insecurity is to disarm the henchmen.
Very interesting point of view, Mr. Anoske. But let's go back to the former Nigerian Chief of Army Staff, Tukur Buratai, has expressed concerns over the rising poverty rate in Nigeria under President Bola Tinubu's administration. Buratai described the economic hardship as radical, massive, and sudden, differing from the gradual increase in previous administrations. He noted that Nigerians had been suffering and smiling in the past, but the current situation is more visible and direct, requiring urgent attention. Buratai attributed the systemic issue of poverty to international bodies like the IMF and World Bank, citing their influence on Nigerians' economic policies. Is it a direct indictment on the president's administration, talking about President Bola Tinubu? And for Buratai, is it the right man to be making such a statement? Would the current administration take him seriously? Because if you look at it, whether they like it or not, Buratai is a high retired military officer.
There's what you call the political law of gravity. Understand me? That's people. That is condemning when they are in the opposition and doing the same thing when they are in power. Understand me? Buratai was chief of army staff under Buhari. This poverty we are talking about started in Buhari's administration. It was under Buhari that Nigeria was declared the poverty capital of the world. Under Buhari. It was under Buhari that IMF said that 133 million Nigerians are into multidimensional poverty. Why didn't he complain at that point in time?
But they said that at least people were suffering and smiling, but now it's even worse. The people cannot even suffer and smile anymore.
Why did he not raise an alarm when he was in government? So for me, it's a hypocrisy. Even though what he said is true, understand me? But the messenger is part of the problem.
He also expressed optimism about Rotimi Amaechi's political future. He was praising Amaechi's leadership and security focus. What is behind this? Is he endorsing him already for the 2027 elections?
I have seen permutations, Rotimi Amaechi and Erufai. Understand me? So for me, I don't know, but in Rotimi Amaechi's 68th birthday, it was the Buhari people that filled up on the whole space. So maybe the Buhari people is looking for a way to bring somebody who will favor them. Understand me? Maybe the Buhari people is trying that to bring somebody who will favor them. And mind you, Erufai was a key figure in Buhari's government. Maybe this is the permutation that is going on. This government is not favoring us. Let us get the one that will favor us. Remember that the former Attorney General of the Federation,
okay,
that's Abubakar Malami, has also condemned Tinubu's administration.
Very interesting. Of course, we wait to see what unfolds as the time passes, because 2027 is still far away. I want to say big thanks to Mr. Anoske for being awesome on the issues this year.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Always a pleasure. And that's how we'll wrap it up for tonight's episode of the Issues and Voice of the People TV. We hope you enjoyed the conversation. We hope you stay engaged and informed. Remember, your voice matters. Stay involved and keep the conversation going. I am Jerry Apeliohai, and this has been the Issues and Voice of the People TV.